As new IT rules for social media came into effect, no inter-digital war between centre and tech giants. IT minister now tweeted on concerns of privacy breach, particularly on WhatsApp, reiterating that government respects the privacy of individuals, saying that normal users of messaging app have absolutely no reason to worry about the new guidelines. Meanwhile, centre has sent another strongly worded letter to social media companies seeking details of compliance and asked the firms to appoint compliance officers. This has prompted a response by Twitter that has chosen to highlight what it calls intimidation tactics by police against its employees. Twitter has also said it is committed to following the law in India. Facebook has maintained that it aims to comply with new rules and will continue to discuss a few issues that need more engagement with centre. Google has issued a statement saying that they have consistently invested in personnel to ensure combating illegal content in an effective way and fair way. Rahul Srivastav is now joining us. Rahul, give us a little bit of a perspective. Social media giants versus the centre. What does the centre have to say, and how does the social media giants respond to these new guidelines?
Jyoti, if you look at the rules which were announced on 25th February, the deadline for 3 months for compliance ended on May 25th. The rules came into play yesterday. The centre has already sent out a letter to all significant social media intermediaries to provide them information with how they have complied with all the rules which were announced. Now, in a scenario like that, we find that Facebook and Google are playing a slightly safer game in terms, they seems to be less aggressive, saying that they are complying, though they have not complied with, but they are indicating a certain degree of reasonableness. But if you look at what the battle between the government and the Twitter, it seems, has really gone one step ahead. Though the law minister and the IT minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, took to Twitter to post certain responses, the fact remains that the Twitter statement has a lot of messaging between the lines. When it says that we'll strive to comply with applicable law in India, it mentions a but. Just as we do around the world, we would continue to strictly guided by principles of transparency. Means it is saying that the rules will prohibit transparency. The second very important element is that if a police team went to its Delhi office, it has termed it intimidation. On the other hand, it has also said that the new IT rules, for example, it is invoking civil society, knowing that several political parties in India and civil groups have come out.
On this appointment of the compliance officer, according to the new rules, is it even practical to have a compliance officer? They would face, all the social media companies would face the most uphill task of having a precarious position filled up. Nobody would want to be a compliance officer given the manner in which that person would get sandwiched in the middle of all of this.
You see, Chetty, how the rules play out, what are the basic problems, is neither we can adjudicate on it, nor others can adjudicate on it. There is a commercial entity called Twitter, Facebook, Google and others, and there is an administrative entity called the Government of India, which announced some rules. Now, if somebody had wanted clarification, somebody had problems, did they engage with the Government of India in seeking the question which answers to the question which you are asking, that how it is going to be easy for anybody to be a compliance officer, what is the need for a grievance officer, though there is a fact that there are several people who are aggrieved, have no place to question or get redressal. For example, last year in November, Meera Kumar, the ex-speaker of Lok Sabha, her Facebook account was blocked. She couldn't go anywhere. She didn't find anybody. And eventually there was street process, after which her account was unlocked. So there are many sides to the story. The fact is that Twitter today, instead of talking to the government or having talked in the past to the government about all the problems it could have faced, is virtually saying that it is working in public interest while the rules are not. So there is a certain degree of standoff happening now, where the Twitter as a company in India is standing strident on its own stand. And that seems to be that there is virtually no negotiation between the government, or a middle point between the government and Twitter.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks, Rahul, for getting us the much needed perspective on this story.